Well, hi there, everybody. When it comes to giving advice, the one thing I've learned, don't give it. Hi there, I'm Jack Church, and this is the Jack Church Show, my podcast. Or you may be watching via our YouTube channel. Either way, always glad you're here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the issue of giving advice. And one of the best things that I ever heard, that I believe it was my grandfather, it may have been my grandmother that said this, but it's been said by many, and it is so true. It's this: unless somebody asks you your advice or your opinion, keep it to yourself. And that brings me to the point of today's show. As you know, I lost my wife a year ago. Old news, I know, but that's also kind of where the show was formed. Because I found that there's an appetite out there for those of us who've suffered loss, whether it be a husband, wife, child, job, whatever. We like hearing from others who are going through this same journey, and we're looking for ways to improve our lives because we are rebuilding our life, right? Well, today's a Saturday, and my Saturdays in the fall revolve around college football. I love college football. Thank goodness my wife, at least I think she loved it. Although I said at her service, I said, she went to all the games with me. She watched all the games on TV with me. But to this day, I'm not sure if she ever understood really what getting a first down meant. But hey, she was a good sport, right? Anyway, that's my thing on Saturdays in the fall. Love my college football. Well, today as I'm watching one of the games, we're still in the middle of the pandemic, right? You didn't need me to tell you that. It's October 2020. And I noticed the first commercial comes on, and it's showing a happy family in their living room or whatever, and how they're doing homeschool in one room, and dad's working in his office in the other room, and whatever the product is they're selling, they're talking about how wonderful it is for all the families to be together now all the time because of COVID. I mean, that was the idea of the commercial. Make us feel happy about this wonderful family and how they're enjoying life, being away from other people and doing their jobs and their school right there in their house. And then they showed a delivery person show up who's wearing a mask, and they walk away from the door and they wave to them from a distance. Okay, fine. Then the next commercial comes on. The very next commercial then is for pizza delivery. And I'm sure you guys have seen this one. I think it's Domino's that has it. Shows the guy driving up to the Domino's pizza place. The Domino's guy's got his mask on. He walks out. The guy hits the electronic release on his trunk. The trunk opens on his car. The guy tosses the pizza into the trunk. And then the guy hits his little latch, lowers the trunk, never speaks to the guy, waves, and drives away. And after I watched those two commercials, I don't know, it just kind of hit me. It's like, I'm really sick of those commercials. I'm just sick of everybody telling me how great everything is now. Now, mind you, there's still a lot of goodness in the world. I get that. There's still a lot of things to look forward to. I get that. But these commercials, they just really kind of bugged me. It's like, do they just have to keep hammering it into us? Do we have to keep watching people, in those different situations, with their mask on and social distancing and things like that? I get it. I know that's how life is now. But when I watch television, I kind of like to escape to a fantasy world. It's like when I'm watching the college football games, I know there's not many fans there like there usually is, but they at least pipe in the noise. The announcers still seem, pretty excited. And the players, they're not wearing masks. The coaches aren't, the players aren't. You get the point. I just want a little normalcy. And that's kind of what television can do sometimes, is take us into another world. So I took a picture of one of the commercials with my cell phone. And it was one where there was like 5 or 6 people in the shot, and they're all wearing masks. And I just posted a little thing on Facebook. I said, hey, anybody out there like me just kind of getting tired of these commercials and telling us how wonderful life is now that we have to stay indoors all the time, or we have to work from home, or we have to teach our kids from home, or we have to get our pizza delivered to the trunk of our car without ever having any human contact with anybody. And of course, that's one of the taglines they use in a lot of these commercials as well. You know, contactless delivery. Never even heard that term. So I put it out there, just kind of being funny, really, more than anything. And a few people chimed in going, yeah, I could do without that, blah, blah, blah. Well, then one person chimes in and they go, you need to move on to other things. There are beautiful things in the world. You need to get off of this subject and you need to basically move on from it. And it kind of struck me a little hard. It's like, oh, I was just having a little fun here, and I'm sorry that that this person was upset about it. So I was kind of being snarky back. I kind of, we do that. That's the thing about social media. You can say or do anything because nobody can see you. So I was kind of being sarcastic when I wrote back. I said, you're right. I need to shut up. I need to suck it up. Life has never been better. I need to move on and never, ever bring this subject up again. Just being funny, right? Well, then they reply back. Here's what you should be doing. Here comes the advice. They start telling me how I need to get involved with this group and that group and things like this and do that. And I thought, excuse me, I didn't ask your opinion about what I need to do with my life. And it's a little bit of a sensitive area too for someone who's experienced loss. I'm going to kind of go back a little bit. Before, if Pam were still living, I probably never would have even posted a thing about these silly commercials on television. You know why? Because she would be here with me. And when the commercials come on, I would probably say something to her like going, boy, are you sick of seeing those ads? They're so goofy. I'm tired of it. And then she might go, oh, I think they're nice. Or she might go, yeah, I'm kind of tired of them too. The point being, I have someone here to talk with about it and have a little fun. So I had to go to the online world. Big mistake there. Now, this particular person may have meant well, but they're in a different world from those of us who've lost someone. They've had their troubles in life, and I know this. I know they have. They've had lots of troubles in their life. But at the same time, they're now also enjoying retirement. They have their children, grandchildren nearby. They have a beautiful home in a beautiful part of the country. And so their perspective on life is going to be quite a bit different from someone like me who's alone now. And that gets me back to what we started with on the program. Unless somebody asks for your advice, don't give it. And for those of us who've experienced loss, that's the last thing we need, is people giving us advice on what we should do and how we should do it. Because even though it's been a year for me now, maybe for you it's only been a week, 6 months, it may have been 10 years. It's like my wife said, and this is a phrase that's been used over time as well, until you've walked in my shoes, you really don't know. You don't earn the privilege of getting to tell me what you think I should do and how I should act and what I should be doing. Now that sounds harsh, I know. And I'm a really nice person. I almost feel guilty saying that. And in fact, you know what I did about my little post about the commercials? I pulled it down. I deleted it. Because I thought, oh, I don't want to upset people. That's just me. And I have found, though, that I tend to get through life a little bit better by being maybe overly nice at times and not handing out advice unless it's asked of me. So that's kind of the point of our message today. And I think we can all live with that. And maybe you're someone that's listening, though, that you've got a friend who lost someone or lost their job, and you think you've got some great ideas for how their life could be better and what they need to do. I will give you some advice, and that is don't offer up your ideas and advice unless they ask you. That's really, really important. It's a sensitive area. because they're still learning to navigate life alone, and you really don't know. Now, maybe you've lost somebody and you've got some great ideas, kind of like me here. I do these podcasts, and yes, I'm putting out some ideas and, if you will, some advice, but I'm not forcing it on anybody. It's by choice people listen to these programs, and they may agree or disagree with me, and that's fine. But I'm not like coming into your house, grabbing your cell phone and downloading my podcast and saying, you need to listen to this. No, not my place. It's not our place at all. So just always remember, until you've been there, you really don't know. And until they ask, let's just keep our mouth closed. And you may be saying, well, what are we supposed to do? Just offer encouragement. That's the main thing. If they say something silly that you think is outrageous or whatever, just go, that's great, whatever. It'll keep you in a lot of trouble, I can tell you that. And I sure don't want to lose friends. And I got a lot of friends out there. And even this friend who made the snarky comments, like I said, I've deleted the post. I'm not angry about it. I just hope maybe that, how should I say this? No, someday, in all likelihood, they could be in this situation, or their spouse could be in this situation where they've lost one or the other. And I guarantee you their perspective on things are going to change a lot. Mine have changed a lot over the course of the last year or so. So that's about it. Thanks again. Don't know if you learned anything. I don't know if I learned anything, but it's always nice to have a little talk, isn't it? So we'll try and remember, unless somebody asks us for our advice, let's just not give it. I think life will go a lot better for us, don't you? So again, thanks for listening to the Jack Church Show, my podcast here. As I always say, if you so feel inclined, share it with others. Let them know about the program. We're hoping to continue to grow it. And, just see where this takes us, okay? And thanks again for listening. Or watching if you're on the YouTube channel, okay? Bye now.